Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a nice evening. Rory Powers, Right Line Trading, and we're going to be trading the AI Auto Trader this morning. Thank you for joining me. And before I get started, let me get the CFTC out of the way really quickly. This broadcast is for demonstration and educational purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor. Looks like my disclaimer may have disappeared. Okay. So I'm running our full portfolio of strategies. Turned them on about 7:30, 8 o'clock, probably about 7:30. And gold and crude oil came out on top so far. So right now those are my strategies that have kind of come above the radar. I love this signal A entry after the market open on the ES. So if I wanted to trade the ES, signal A, I would go to my available strategies, template, load, and I'm going to look for that ES signal A. And I'm going to load that one and throw it on my Apex account, make sure I'm on the right instrument. And I'll put it on this Apex account. Let me get the right account. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let me find this account here in this drop down. I might have to disconnect and reconnect, actually. I'm going to flatten everything real quick, and for some reason my Apex account wasn't showing, so I'm just going to reestablish that connection. Hey, good morning, Dr. Hanson. Good morning, Charlie. Giles. AM. Hope you have a blessed day today. Okay, now it fired back up, and let me go back to the strategies, and I'm going to make it. What I do, the system comes. First, let me re-enable everything. I apologize for the tech delay. So a good practice when you're enabling your strategies is just so you don't have to check all of those little boxes off. What I can do is I can left click. These are all checks, so I'm not going to worry about those. But here I'm going to left click and drag my mouse down. And then I right click and select enable. And now all of my strategies will instantly become enabled. Out of the box, the workspace includes a separate SIM account for each one of my strategies. And the reason why we do that is we want to be able to distinguish historically how each one of our strategies performs. And that obviously is going to weigh heavy on our decision making as to which strategy we're going to trade in a live account. Looking at today's calendar, we kind of don't want to get caught off guard with a big economic report coming out. It's a very news-driven market, and large reports that create a tremendous amount of volatility. We may even want to step aside and let things settle down for a few moments, or you could certainly trade into the reports. But with that extra volatility, sometimes there's more risk associated with trading during those periods. So today at 9:45, we have the Flash Manufacturing PMI, Flash Services PMI. Then at 10 a.m., we have the new home sales, Richmond Manufacturing Index. So between 9:45 and 10, we've got some news reports coming out that may cause some volatility. And depending on the results of those reports, it might cause the market to make a big move, whether it be up or down. Let's take a look at our positions. We're in the YM, the RTY, the NASDAQs. All the 30 ranges jumped in. They all jumped in. It looks like they're short. Let's take a look at the Haymaker. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. So gold seems to be came down. It was up over $2,400 an ounce. Then yesterday it looks like it made a turn down, and today it looks like it's retracing back towards its high. This is a picture since 5 a.m. this morning. It's kind of been in an uptrend since about 5:20. And the signal B is capitalized on that. So if I wanted to make a duplicate of that strategy, because I want to continue to run my SIM account and collect as much data as possible. And that data becomes very valuable information when we're optimizing our inputs in our strategy. So if I wanted to duplicate that without removing it from my SIM account, what I would need to do is go to my Strategies tab of my workspace, and I'm going to right-click and create a new strategy. And under my available list, I'm going to select the AI Auto Trader P. I'm going to take a template and load it, and I'm going to look for the gold signal B. The one that's on top is the drone. I always go with the one that's making the most money. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the correct instrument. I'm going to put it on gold. And then I'm going to select the account that I want to trade it in. And I'm going to put it on this account here. so I can enable it there. I always like the ES strategies. Let's see if the market continues up or it makes a retracement. I love to take the ES off of these bounces, these rolls off these areas of resistance. The first 10, 20 minutes of the market, it seems it'll go one direction. Like this morning at the open, it went straight down. You said, oh, let me take a short, only to have it bounce back up. So they're pretty good at faking us out. Hey, good morning, Stephen. Yesterday, Mark Miller was trading. Today, myself, Roy Powers. I'll be trading today, Stephen, and we kind of alternate days. He'll be back on Thursday. So you're stuck with me for a few days. Usually my beach scene is up, but I see that I don't know what happened. I lost my beach scene. So let's see what happens here. I always like to set up a signal A on the E-mini. So I'm going to go to my strategies and just make a duplicate. Now that report just came out. That news report just came out at 9:45. And we got that sudden burst. And we'll see how the market reacts to it. But I'm going to get ready. Looks like the market liked the report. So our signal Bs very likely all jumped in long. My Apex account is in. So let's go to gold on my Apex. And I'm up about 400 on the trade. It's not giving me the ability to manage the. So I'm going to attach it to my 50. So I have a momentum-based trailing stop now. And I'm in this long position on gold on the Apex account. Got a $280 profit on that one. So our 30 range signal B is also jumped in. So I'm going to make a duplicate strategy for the ES, because I always like to trade the ES. And find this in my list. Here's a signal B. We're going to put it in the right instrument, the ES. And I'm going to load it on my Apex account. And I'll be ready if that market keeps going up. And I'm going to also take the NQ30 range. So I'm just preparing some strategies that I want to trade on my Apex account. And I'm continuing to run all of the strategies in their separate SIM accounts. We just recently did an update, and my workspace wasn't fully prepared to go to these other instruments. So if I wanted to enable the NQ on my Apex, I could do that here. And I could take a signal A, a signal B. Okay, so we put a few strategies in the Apex account. I put one on the NASDAQ, one on gold, and one on the E-mini. And I'm going to take that signal B on the NASDAQ and Q30 range signal B. I'm going to put my profit window at 40 ticks. And switch it over to this Apex account. And it has the potential to jump into this trade short right now if it continues down. I've got my Laguerre, my RSI line is locked to the downside. And we'll see if we can get this continuation. I'm going to disable my signal A real quick. We'll try and let this mature to the downside. Got good volume. Hey, good morning, Rao. Good to see you, my friend. Let's keep an eye on these accounts here. And a number of nice positions to the long side, actually, on the NASDAQ. 30 range haymakers and a beauty. That was that signal A. It's in my profit window now. Well, I have the trailing stop as well, so we're going to make a nice profit on this trade, whether or not it goes all the way. The haymaker is really one of our most exciting strategies. Looks like the my Apex account is in another position. Let's take a look and see which one. It's in on the NASDAQ. Looks like it took a long trade on the NASDAQ. We get through that area of resistance. Could be a really nice trade. Let's see what happens. Got a little turbulence coming. Let's see if we can push through. Might have caught this ES trade as well. Yep. So we're long ES and we're long NASDAQ. So the system's put me in a really nice opportunity here, with a couple of long positions here in a market that's headed up. Right? Let's bring this up just a little bit here. Came back on me. Got me on the ES too. Another one to look at is that crude oil. If you look at crude oil today, the black gold is in a beautiful position to the long side, it looks like. Let's go to take a look at crude oil. Yesterday, crude oil and the E-mini did extremely well. Some good volatility on crude. Let's bring the Russell on up because the Russell looks like it's hot today too. Let's keep an eye on this one. The Russell is our cash cow. And the Russell on the signal B drone. Oh, look at that. Came up and kissed our stop, kissed our profit target. Going to attach this to our stop, to our modified fast. Lock in some of those profits. I'm going to make a strategy on crude oil. Make a on the black gold, and this is going to be on a 10 range. That's not the right template. Let's hold off on that. A little bit of sideways action here on the NASDAQ. That's the signal. A is up 175 on the NASDAQ 30 range, but the NASDAQ 30 range signal B is up 675. Just got into that short trade. I don't have my trailing stop on. Yeah, when I built the duplicate of the NASDAQ, it didn't have the trailing stop on there. So I need to fix that. So the RTY did hit that profit target. Let's go back to the NQ30 range. Signal B. AI drone. So we've got the Russell on top, the 30 range signal B, number 2, crude oil, black gold, number 3. Kind of a mixed bag. The drone strategies, Stephen, are feeding information to the bots. And the bots are the ones that change. The drones stay the same. Russell went back in. So the AI Auto Trader can simultaneously, well, it does simultaneously trade. Right now we're trading 6 instruments. All the index equities. Crude oil and gold. Now, if this signal B took a trade, good chance my apex is also in that trade. I just don't have the trailing. I needed to adjust the trailing stop. I forgot. Seems to be a pretty ranging market here. We're going to test that area of resistance again. Let's see if we can break through this time. If we break through this, we got a little bit of room to the upside here. I'm hoping it pushes through. Come on, go up through there. It's trying. The Bears and the Bulls are in a real knockout, drag-out fight right here over this price. Go ahead up. There you go. A bounce. We pop through there. We can fasten our seatbelts here. We might have a takeoff, a launching. Nope. Well, we got back to break even. All right. We're still in the game.
Order submitted.
So the 30 range signal B still looking good. In a big trade still on crude. It's a little indecision which way to go now on crude. The ES just kept pushing up. My stop was a little tight on that. I did have it to the long side a few times. Just couldn't get enough room. I'm looking for that one big one to put us on the sidelines. So during this break, what I was going to do is I think I'm going to put on my trailing stop on that 30 range signal B. In the strategy parameters, there's a number of different ways we can manage these trades. I have a profit target window of 40, meaning if I come within 40 ticks of my profit target, which in this case I would be 160, in my favor. So it would be a profit of $800. At that point, my stop would be at 120 ticks at 600. So I can only give back $200 at that point. But I do have a trailing stop on this also at 50 ticks. So if I come within 40, it tightens up a little bit. I didn't see the trailer running on that. Almost sure it didn't run on that. We'll keep an eye on that. So let's take a look at gold. What has gold done? One we haven't looked at yet is the Dow Diamond. Might be right behind here.
Order submitted.
Hey, good morning, Johan. Good morning, Patrick. All right. Glad to see you guys. Let's see if we can make some money today. Yeah, we're about break even on the Apex, but the automated strategies are doing really well on a variety of different instruments. I still have my my 30 range on the signal B enabled. My ES got wicked out, unfortunately, a few times on that ES. I'm really tempted to jump in on a signal A, and we'll keep an eye on that. The ES signal A. The ES is really one of our most consistent strategies. It runs on a 5-minute data series,
Order submitted.
and it might take 2 or 3, or maybe even on the average 3 trades per session. What I like to do on these lines in my oscillator is I like to just put the fractal energy. I like to make that transparent, and I have a default setting for that indicator that only shows the RSI line, because the RSI line is really the one that I'm concerned with. The fractal energy, not so much.
Order submitted.
We do like to see it declining on an entry. So I'm just going to change in that indicator.
Order submitted.
I'm going to just highlight the RSI line in my Ligier oscillator. Okay. Try to get my workspace a little more organized for you, so it's easier to see. We're going to, in the very near future, we're going to have a scoreboard. We're in the process of putting together a really nice workspace that will make it a lot easier to see how each of these strategies are doing. Kind of a scoreboard that will be a lot more prominent than the way it is right now. Apex on gold. See if I could find my Dow Diamond. Yeah, this workspace, I don't think I have it. Didn't mean to stare at you so close. I put my face right in the camera. Let me see if I could build a Dow chart. So all of the chart templates, wow, the gold is really headed down right now. All of the chart templates come pre-formatted. So if I put in my YM, I'm looking for the Dow Diamond with the image. Don't think I see it here. Cash cow with image. Dow Diamond with image. Not exactly sure why I had these images, but then I put all my downloads in a folder. Actually, Sergio did when he was helping me with something, and now it appears that I lost those images. Since the Dow's doing so well, I thought we would take a quick look at it. Signal A, AI drone. The E-mini just keeps pushing higher and higher here. We had a couple of nice long entries on that signal B, and unfortunately they just got wicked out. You know, the ES is like that sometimes. Take a closer look at it. We put very little risk on these trades. Here it would have paid off to have a little more risk, a little, our stop a little bigger. And those are definitely parameters that are fully adjustable. But right now, the Russell is the one that's pulling away. I might be in another trade here. Let's take a quick look. Yeah. See, now this one, I checked the trailer on this, and I had it engaged. I'm not. Maybe it hasn't gone to 50 ticks yet. That's what it is. Let's see if the trailer kicks in. Finally broke through that area of resistance. That was the break we were looking for. Now let's see if we can get some follow through here. Now my area of resistance is becoming an area of support, and it's preventing it from coming back on us, which is really nice. I don't want to talk too soon. I did speak a little too soon. All right, well that's my loss limit on the Apex. I'll let it lose 500, and then I'm done for the day with it. So I hit my loss limit. So I'm going to just take it off of these Apex accounts, and we'll try again tomorrow. Couldn't get the follow through on that one, on that long trade. Let's see what positions we have open. Still in that beautiful trade on crude. And the Russell is in a nice one. Dow. Excuse me. Yeah, certainly, Rao. You could scale up at any time if you see that one of the strategies is doing extremely well. In the strategy parameters, um, you could see here. The question is can we increase the number of contracts? And in our trade management, really the sky's the limit, Rao. I could put if I, wanted to trade, 5 or 10 contracts. I have a first profit, the amount of contracts, and a second profit, the amount of contracts. And I can, pretty much input where my stop and profit targets are. If I want to input a trailing stop, I could put it in here. If at a certain point I want the stop to go to break even, and then even break even plus or minus to lock in some profits. And then we have that profit targets window that forms a bracket. If I have a value of 20, when I'm within 20 ticks of my profit target, let's say the profit target's 100, it'll put a stop 20 ticks below. So I have an equal amount of risk to my potential profit. So if I have 20 ticks to go to my profit target, it'll put a 20 tick stop. It'll move your stop 20 ticks behind it. And you'll have a bracket. So it really has some great trade management features. What hurt me today was the ES trades. Excuse me. What hurt me today was the ES trades on my Apex account. We have to be really careful with risk. And I have a really tight stop. And I got these long entries that just wicked me out. You can see how close it was. I got in right here the first time, and the wick came down to right here. Just wicked me out. Did it a couple of times on just that long wick, and then just continued to go up. Had I a little bit more room, today would have been a different story. But that's part of trading.
Order submitted.
Here's another haymaker trade. These are always very exciting to watch. We're trailing this trade by 50 ticks. Once I'm 40 ticks from this profit target, it's going to tighten it up to a 40 tick window. This is basically the same trade we were in right down here. And it just lost momentum and came back on us. It broke right back through that area of resistance, and now it's trying to push up again.
Order submitted.
Look at that. This is, you know, what can I say? This is the same strategy I had on the Apex. I went down 500, disabled the Apex, and then the very next trade. Let me see if I can find that Dow. Here it is. Beautiful trade. Look at that. 50 ticks was the perfect distance on that one. So once we get to 40 ticks away, and what Sergio's doing right now is that window, profit window that forms the bracket, he's going to have it to where the stop will show you right where your window is. And it tightens it up even further. We don't want to give back 50 ticks, but the way we have it configured now, it'll get back 40 once we're within 40 ticks. That ES just going up and away. My ES, I'm surprised my signal Bs aren't taking this trade. Something must be preventing it. Let's take a look at the Dow Diamond. The gold nugget was really hot yesterday. Today it's down 1200. Let's try the signal B. Down 290.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
So that haymaker strategy's having a really great day. You can never count that one out, especially in a market that's trending in one direction. That signal B is going to jump into those long trades and ride them out. And my signal A is going to jump in on this. Once this RSI line crosses through the 80%, it's going to jump in a short trade. And it's going to look for a reversal. Once the market gets overextended, price always seems to want to revert back to the mean or the 50. If I put my 50 back on the chart, you could see how far the distance price from the 50.
Order submitted.
Scalping, Rao? Smaller trade time? Question is if I've ever tried higher contracts with smaller trade time. When you say smaller trade time, you mean a smaller profit target, or on a faster chart, maybe on a 15 range, a smaller time frame? Smaller time frame. Or smaller profit target. Which one of the two, Ro? We could certainly, do that. Everybody's style is a little different, Rao. And what's great about this system is it can be configured to suit everybody. If you want to trade a scalping strategy, we could set up a scalping strategy, sure. If you wanted to trade 5 or 10 contracts and go for 10 or 20 ticks, and you wanted to use this, the signal A, which is looking for a reversal, or do you want to try to get in on the trend trades? Maybe we could set up a strategy and I could show you. I had a really nice conversation yesterday with Shane. Shane is one of our members and a really smart guy. He, he was kind of looking for. He wanted to learn the filters that we had in place, and try to spend some time with putting together a strategy that was just a little more conservative. Didn't necessarily go for the big trades, but his style of trading is just to get more consistent small winners. And the great part about it is this system allows you to do that. And I've put this link in the chat box before, and I'm going to do it again, because in our modules that we developed, how to build your own ATM machine, we pretty much cover those bases and tell you exactly the tool to use. We have something in our toolbox here that it's called our. It's an indicator, and I think I've shown this before. Look at this trade on the Dow. Beautiful trade on the Dow. Now my profit window should be in effect. I'm going to check the settings just to make sure. Let's see where this stops us out if it doesn't hit the profit target. Yeah, we can certainly put together a scalping strategy. Absolutely. I worked with one of our members yesterday, Shane, and we put together an entry for a signal B. We were kind of looking at the charts, and what we use is, let me see if I have a bear chart.
Order submitted.
I could build one. So the Dow hit it. The Dow Diamond hit that profit target. And my crude oil is just very slowly, quietly in the background, drifting up down here. Some really nice volatility on crude and gold. But what I'd like to show you is this an indicator that we built, Rao, that would really be helpful in creating a scalping bot. And we could put one together in about probably between 5 and 10 minutes. We could put together a scalping bot. And I'm also going to put those links to the two modules. And we're going to do module 3 this week. I'm going to record a module 3. That's going to go into the new parameters and features that we've just updated in the system. Those include the trade management features, the bots and the drones, a thorough explanation. So let me complete my thought here. I'm going to put the link in. If you haven't watched these modules, they're short. They're only 45 minutes each. And I'm going to show you how to go about building a scalping strategy, like Rao mentioned. So if you click on that link and you put in your email address, we're going to send you, you'll get instant access to those two modules. So I know that Rao is really big on gold. I always see every day Rao is trading gold. So if I pull up my gold chart, and our gold is traded on a 15 range. It would look something like this.
Order submitted.
And I'm just going to put my default settings so you can see the RSI line. And I'm going to go to this indicator that Sergio developed. It's called the MIPA, Market Internals, PA signal. And the signal indicator is identical, the inputs are identical to the strategy parameters. There's no difference. The only difference is once all of the conditions that we've checked off for each one of the entries are met, the indicator will throw a cross on our chart, where if the strategy is enabled with those same inputs, it will execute the trade. Okay? So what that gives us the ability to do is for our signal A entry, we could check off the filters that we want, and if I disable the B, and what I could do is put on my dashboard. So the filters I have for the signal A entry right now that are enabled, we just want clear pivots and a clear volume zone. And what we normally do is we use bias on this. And if I apply that now on my chart it'll show me all of the signal A entries that the system would have taken if once the RSI line crosses. The bias might have filtered out a lot of these crosses. So let's go back. And let's take off the bias filter. So now the only filters we have are the clear pivots and clear volume zone. So now where I see my crosses,
Order submitted.
is where I would have taken an entry. So I would have had an entry right here. I would have had an entry right here. Right here. So looking at these entries that I had, they really aren't very appealing. So what I can do at that point is if I don't like that, I can go back to my signal indicator and say, you know what, it's kind of a trending market today. And maybe I'll look at if I can set up something for my signal B entries. So I could put in, I could start with maybe no filters, just the bias and the clear pivots and clear volume zone. And I would check off my signal B entry and uncheck signal A. So now my crosses are just going to come in when my signal B is enabled. So now I see my signal B here, and I can kind of scroll back and back test them. I see my signal B here. Could have made some profits there. Signal B. And it gives me the ability to optimize my strategy inputs and see where the system would have taken the trade without actually running a back test or a market replay data feed. So it's a really great tool to use to try to optimize the inputs of the settings. And obviously, the more filters that I put in on this signal B or signal A, it's going to reduce the amount of entries. It becomes more and more conservative. And I go over in those masterclass, in that module 2 of the masterclass series that I just put in the chat, I go over
Order
what 1 and 2, I go over what each one of these filters does, and you have a clear understanding of how to make the entries more aggressive or more conservative. We have a trend signal. I could put those in. We have an MA diff. I can enable that, where I'm only going to take trades very tight to the 50. I'm going to respect the daily high and the low. I'm not going to trade into those areas. I'm not going to trade into the VWAP. And I can make those conditions more and more conservative. And then you can see my list of conditions at the top now. There's a larger number of them that have to be met in order to get that entry signal. And then I have the ability to backtest by just scrolling back on my chart and seeing where those entries would have come in. So if I get it to where I say, hey, I really like these entries where they are, and I think I can get 10 ticks on a scalp, then it would just be a matter of transferring those inputs I can go to my signal B inputs, and I could take a quick screenshot using a snippet tool.
Order submitted.
And then I would go to my strategy, and I would create a signal B strategy on gold. I would load a template that I'm currently using for gold on a signal B. And then I would just make these small adjustments because I saw that the signals came in at really great places. So I would add the bias signal. I would add the trend signal. And I would put the exact same inputs that I have here. This is the fast line and the modified slow. And I would just look at my screenshot, and I would put those in, and I'd maybe go for 15 ticks, and I would risk 5, and maybe I'd have a stop at 10 ticks, or whatever you see fit. And now I could save this template, and I could call it my gold scalping 15 range. I'll make sure my signal A is off, which it is, and I've got it in my sim account. It's going to run till 11. It's almost up now. So let me put that in a sim account. Oh, it is. Okay. So now we set up that scalper on gold. So if I go to my gold chart and I want to see those trades in real time, I would put it at my chart trader, the same account that's in my strategy, which is my Sim 101 account. So now if all of the conditions are met and that takes a trade, you'll see it on my chart. I wanted to do it very quick because we're in the middle of this session, but if I was serious about it, I would probably take a little more time and maybe look at a few different instruments to see what would give me the best chance right now on a scalping strategy. Gold didn't look that great to me, but I just wanted to show you an example of how you would go about doing it. I do see on the Nasdaq
Order submitted.
some signal A entries that you could take on a scalp. That look really good. And just increase the lot size and just go for a very easy target to hit. The only problem with it, in my experience, has been when our risk to reward ratio gets out of whack. We have to have a really high percentage of winning trades, and that's really why we've made a pivot to going for those ambitious profit targets. We found that having those big winners and that risk to reward ratio leaned heavily in our favor, our winning percentage goes way down. We don't have to have that type of win rate or consistency. But there's a fine line there of how loose or tight you want your inputs to be and where they need to be profitable. And those are the challenges that we have as software developers. So if we did that same strategy, let's do the same strategy on the Nasdaq on a signal A. So we'll go find our scalp strategy. And this time we'll do it on a signal A. And we're only going to do the bias and the pivots and volume zone. We'll take off the B. We'll put it on the Nasdaq on a 30 range.
Order submitted.
The NQ 30 range signal A was in a beautiful trade. So we'll let those two strategies run in the background now, and then we'll come back to them in a few minutes, in about 10 minutes. Gold is pretty much lost its steam right now. Very low volume. It's at 40. So the signal A sim would have jumped in right there, Rao. Nope. Our time ran out. Let's add a few minutes to it. That would have been a winner there. So it looks like the Russell, surprisingly so far, is on top. Crude oil is at 610. Look at this one here. Another one on the Dow. That stop on the NASDAQ scalper, though, is going to be way too tight now that I'm thinking about it. At 10 ticks, it's just got no room. But we could try it. What a nice trade here on the Dow.
Order submitted.
Okay, Daniel. Good morning, Olu. Be nice to talk to you. I'll give you a call when I'm done. Look at there.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, that should have put us in our scalper there. Let's see what happens with it. Here we go with the big reversal.
Order submitted.
Let's see what happened, Rao. It lost 425. It doesn't have enough room. And then 5 contracts, and you take a loser, it's going to hurt. So that risk to reward is, especially when you scale up, you'd have to give this more room. Let's see, these ES trades, these reversals, this is our cash register strategy on the ES. And the first couple hours of the market, it just kept pushing higher. And now momentum has kind of shifted a little bit here. This is the strategy that we usually have a lot of success with. It's not fast-paced. You kind of have to be patient with them, but when it gets some room, it'll stay in these positions for a couple hours. Just keep going. They're very profitable trades. I really had a great opportunity this morning on this ES strategy, and it's just the breaks of trading. We got wicked out, only to watch it continue to the upside for a really nice gain. This could, just be a small retracement back to the 50 and a continuation up. All right, we're going to go for about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. And then we will call it a day. Believe it or not, the big winner today was the Russell. You can see my ES strategy here. Signal A for the month, it's up $4,154, and that's trading one contract. And I always like to do an analysis just to see what times it does the best. This is my entry time on the half hour of the day. And excluding 10 to 11, it does really well. My 30 range signal B. The signal B is the trend trading strategy. Is up about 3,900. And if we look at the analysis there, that 830 is the biggest. 830 to 9. Between 9 and 10, it hasn't been doing very well. And then after the market settles down, it has a really good hour. So what we can do is, if I go to my strategy, looking at this, this is for the NASDAQ 30 range signal B. If I go to that strategy that I created on my Apex account for the 30 range signal B, I can go into my strategy parameters and I could say, hey, you know what, from 8:30 to 9, I really want to get in on that. So I can set this from 8:30 to 9. But I don't want it to trade from 9 to 10. I want it to restart from 10 to 11. So I'm going to add a second trading session from 10 to 11. And then it doesn't do well at 11, but then from 11:30 to 12, it does pretty well. So I'll take that half hour as well. So now I have those trading hours, and the more data that I have, really the better off I am. I'm setting up a second computer that's going to run 24/7. And we're going to find some additional trading sessions to add to these strategies and try to weed out the times of the day that we just don't do well. So now I have it set to trade really by what our statistics, what our data is showing us. We don't want to trade when we get big, huge red bars. And if I have to go to work or I can't keep an eye on the screen, this is a great way to, set it and forget it, so to speak. So tomorrow I'll be all set for trading that strategy at those optimized trading hours. All right, so just a quick look back at our profitable strategies today. We had the Russell was up 630, crude oil 437. Another Russell signal B. These are both signal Bs. One's the bot and one's the drone. Crude oil, another signal A. So it's really the Russell signal B and the crude signal A. And then the Dow Diamonds and the 30 range signal B had some nice trades. The Dow Diamond, you could see that trade is still alive right here. So I want to thank everybody for joining me this morning. We will be back tomorrow. My Apex account, I took a $500 drawdown. There's no hiding from it. I had those losers on gold on the E-mini. and that's what kind of cost me today. But the good news is we're still we'll be in the game tomorrow. We cut our losses at 500. We practice some discipline and take our loss and live to fight another day tomorrow. And that's the great thing about this system. Every single day gives us an opportunity to really make a lot of money. And today was no different. Even though on a losing day, looking back on the trades, I see, just a heartbreaker on the wick on that ES. Made a difference today between, losing 500 and making 1,000. And that was just those few ticks were the game changer. So it could have went either way. It could have went in our direction very easily. And I think tomorrow it will. We'll give it another shot tomorrow, God willing. So I hope everybody has a blessed rest of their day. Daniel, I'm going to give you a call. Give me 30 minutes. I'm a little hungry, so I'm going to grab a quick snack, and I'll give you a call in about 15. Give me 30 minutes. About right around 11:45, 12 o'clock. I'll give you guys a call. And I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Have a blessed day, everybody.